Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel called zuzanareacts, where I learn all things Bharat with your help, and I just share my Slovak Central European point of view. And today's video is a requested video. You guys have been telling me about the Bangladesh and the fleeing of their prime minister, and we're going to look into this today together and what that actually means for Bangladesh and what it actually means for India. But before we jump into today's video,
please like this video and click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification. Thank you so much for your support.
okay, so let's jump into it and see what Palka Sharma has to say about what's happening in Bangladesh.
There's another factor that we haven't discussed, and that is Pakistan. They have a role to play here. Before 1971, you see, there was no Bangladesh. You had East Pakistan and West Pakistan. The East Wing broke away to become the country of Bangladesh. So relations are frayed between Bangladesh and Pakistan. Sheikh Hasina was completely anti-Pakistan, and she had good reason to be. Pakistan's army jailed her father. They also slaughtered thousands of Bangladeshis, and the feeling was mutual. Pakistan's military was no fan of Hasina. They've criticized her on multiple occasions, especially on the 1971 war. But could they have plotted her ouster? Could Pakistan have done it? Well, Sheikh Hasina's party says yes. It has blamed two groups for the violent protests. One is Pakistan, the other is the United States. We get Pakistan. But why the US? Because Washington has been critical of Sheikh Hasina. They questioned her recent re-election. They said it wasn't free or fair. Now, just to be clear, this wasn't about ideology or strategy. Joe Biden saw a convenient target in Bangladesh, a training ground for a so-called democratic experiment. So he gave Pakistan a free pass, but he went hard against Sheikh Hasina. Again, the sentiment was mutual. Sheikh Hasina accused the United States of plotting a regime change in Dhaka, of trying to topple her. But are either of these claims true? Well, the US is no stranger to regime changes. In Pakistan, Imran Khan accused them of toppling his government. So are they capable of it? Yes, very much. But did they do it? Well, evidence is a bit sketchy, but we say worth looking at. Look at this report. It analyzes BNP social media posts against Sheikh Hasina. Apparently, most of these accounts were based in the US. Hasina's supporters say this is evidence of meddling. But it's hardly a smoking gun because many opposition leaders live in exile. Hasina herself is heading to the UK. So the whole US meddling angle has to be proven, and it won't be easy. But the Pakistan bit is even more complicated. Let's look at the two main opposition groups in Bangladesh again. The first is the Jamaat-e-Islami. It's an Islamist group formed before partition. The Jamaat opposed Bangladesh's liberation in 1971. They wanted to retain Muslim unity. To this end, they even collaborated with Pakistan's army. Basically, they wanted to prevent the creation of Bangladesh. So how did such a party survive? Well, at first it did not. Many Jamaat leaders were jailed for war crimes. The group struggled to remain relevant. But by the late 1970s, they started turning it around. How? By focusing on religion. You see, Bangladesh was founded on secular lines, but the Jamaat sought to radicalize the people. They emphasized on Muslim identity. So for them, Pakistan was not an enemy. It was a fellow Muslim country. Same with the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, or BNP. It was founded by military ruler Ziaur Rahman. He removed secularism from Bangladesh's constitution. Instead, he emphasized on Islamic identity. Some BNP leaders have also been accused of war crimes. Today, the BNP and Jamaat are allies. So the broad takeaway is this. Both these parties are soft on Pakistan. Reports say they have ties to Pakistan's deep state. Look at this report from 2012. The BNP was accused of taking money from the ISI, that's the Inter-Services Intelligence, Pakistan's spy agency and Dirty Works Department. They've also been accused of plotting terror attacks, most notably the Dhaka Cafe blast of 2016. So could they have plotted Hasina's ouster? Her supporters say yes. They accuse Pakistan's mission in Dhaka of meddling, of encouraging violent protests. But again, there is no evidence. We cannot definitively say that Pakistan or the US was involved. But here's what we can say. One, Pakistan would welcome this regime change. We haven't heard from Islamabad yet, but rest assured, the generals are celebrating. And two, the US policy did not help. Sheikh Hasina may have had her problems, but she delivered growth and stability. She kept the radical Islamists at bay. But that wasn't enough for Joe Biden. He gave free passes to the likes of Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt, but he ramped up the pressure on Dhaka. I'm sure that did not help. Of course, these are all additional factors. The main driver was the people, and that's the message from Bangladesh today. Power flows from the people. They give you power, they can also take it away.
Okay, so I believe this is it to today's video. So I have been made aware of this by you guys. So here, I've just asked people if that was reported, at least in Slovakia. Not really. I think what was reported is the big protests in Bangladesh. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it started. And I wonder, actually would love your take on it, because from what I've read, it started with some sort of employment quotas for young people. This was really led by students who are not able to get employment. And from what she says, that it sounded like coup, but it's maybe not enough evidence for that to be the coup of the US. As she has said, there are no strangers to the coups across the world. Let me know what you think about it. Do you reckon it's a coup? Do you reckon it's not a coup? I would love to know also from where you're sitting, like, what does that impact on India? How does that actually impact on India? It would be quite interesting. Some of them would, and I think I've heard it from you guys. I've read it somewhere that it can impact communities like Hindus, and I wonder kind of why. Is it because of, like the radicalization that she has mentioned during the video? It would be quite interesting to know. So as she also mentioned, I'm just looking at my notes, that Pakistan would definitely celebrate, and I just wonder why that is. Just because India is kind of like one side Pakistan, the other side almost like Bangladesh. Like there is a particular community that is dominating in those countries, and I wonder what the reason kind of behind that would be, that they would feel like they're celebrating. Is that something you think is going to happen, targeted at India? It's very strange, right? Like Afghanistan fell, Sri Lanka fell, Bangladesh is falling. It feels like India is kind of within Asia, kind of like standing on the democratic rules. I'm not too sure what's happening there. As mentioned, like here, it's not really reported. It feels very, very foreign, especially in Slovakia these days. I haven't posted about it, but maybe you'd like to know that there is an oil company. So we are still getting Russian oil. And because otherwise our country would collapse. And Mr. Zelensky had put a Ruka Oil, which is a big oil company, which I think supplies 1/3 of the oil to Slovakia, but also a lot more, I think, to Hungary on the sanction list, meaning that this is like the biggest topic here for us, because it would mean like the utter collapse of the country. So, like other geopolitical stuff is not as exciting here, because this is like for us survival and existence. So what's interesting, you might want to know that I think what I saw, it's Slovakia supplies either 43 or 45% of electricity back to Ukraine, and our president said, like, if that's not solved, we might come to reciprocal actions. So like the tension, let's say, of Slovak people and definitely Hungarian people is more towards existential crisis, really. And because there are other kind of sources of oil, which again you have to pay 5 times more from what we've heard. So crazy things happening all around. But let me know what you guys think, what actually is behind this, what your points of views are. I'll be curious to know and how that will impact in the end. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this video with me. If you did enjoy, please give a thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next one. Until then, please do take care. I'm sending peace and love. Bye-bye.